Greetings, my fellow intellectuals and bookworms. You may be wondering where I went. Well, finals. I had last minute stuff for school to do, and I just couldn't make some of the videos I was going to make. So, now I will start. Here's my book review on the book The Handmaid's Tale. The book The Handmaid's Tale is a New York Times bestseller. Now, it has triggered a lot of Trump fans with the first foreword of it saying that the reason why it's a bestseller is a lot of people feel that their rights are under threat. But at the same time, that has raised awareness of the fact that in America, rights are slowly being eroded away. The Patriot Act stripped away practically all of your Fourth Amendment rights, and other ones are starting to go away. It paints a scary, plausible picture in which Christian theocrats take over the government and start oppressing and killing others. They start killing mass numbers of people of other religions. For example, Baptists are mass murdered. University professors and other intellectuals are killed off. And in the Republic of Gilead, the main character, who is a handmaiden, which is women are essentially slaves. They have to serve men, and she is a handmaiden. A handmaiden is someone who actually can breed, because some sort of collapse made breeding very hard. As a result, kids are not being made and the population is slowly dying. The government figured out that to fix it, they would enslave a certain group and have them make babies to ensure that people survive. Essentially, it is rape. It's scary. And the story tells the main character of the protagonist, who isn't allowed to read or even write, and she writes a novel, which she isn't supposed to, and she knows that if it gets found, she will be put to death. And the situation in the Republic of Gilead is not exactly great. They've started numerous wars, none of which they can win. They invaded Central America to secure resources of food. They did conquer Central America and the Caribbean, from Mexico to, Panama and all of the Caribbean. But then trouble struck. A separatist group, in this case called the Liberate Fios group, which in this case is opposed to the government in the Republic of Gilead, and wants to keep their own religion and won't support them. That's why it's called Liberate Fios. Fought a war in which they won and liberated themselves, and they've been launching guerrilla attacks throughout the war. They've been blowing up railroads and sabotaging and doing mass raids into Florida. Southern California is conquered by the Southwest, and we can presume at this point that the Central American and Caribbean nations are slowly invading the southern part of the country, because news is scarce and everything they have is highly censored, because it's a totalitarian nation in which they publicly hang people from walls. The walls were built only to keep people out. And if you commit a supposed crime, like being a dissident, they publicly hang you and put up a sign that says dissident. So the Southwest and parts of the Southeast are being invaded. In the north of the country, they mention that their military in Detroit is shelling the Canadian border, but at the same time, based on information is very scarce. It is left unsaid, but we can assume that Canadian forces are opposing and invading a lot of the border states like Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Washington, and pushing further in, and the Northeast. We can pretty much assume that. Oh, and in the Appalachian of the South, the Baptist group, which, as we learn, is brutally murdered, is it is fighting a war. So they're fighting a war on all fronts, but they don't realize they can't win at this point. Ultimately, I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. It's so good, I had to give a review on it before I was done with the book. You may be wondering what's in the background. In the background is just a bunch of building projects that I built myself. Thank you.